Hello, all my merrymakers. I am Becca, and welcome to Bookmark Monday. To all my oldies and goodies that keep on coming back to this segment, thank you so very much. To anybody new here, welcome. Bookmark Monday is now my weekly video where I look at a pattern source and we go through it a little bit, and I pick a couple patterns to make. I've actually got two books here. I'm not going to go through them both. Don't worry. I'm just explaining my thinking a little bit. I had been going through my pattern books and was looking specifically for a crochet book, since the last book we did was a knitting book. And I really liked the idea of switching between knitting and crochet. And the two ones that I set aside were this one, which I think I picked up from Hobby Lobby on a whim, and then this one. Now, we just, like, the crochet book that we just did was a bunch of Afghans, so it's like, maybe we'll save that for next time, otherwise it might feel a little too samey. So, alright, so this is called Crochet Cute Kitters 26 Easy Amigurumi Patterns by Sarah Zimmerman. So, I don't remember if someone purchased this for me, and I don't, or if I got it myself. So there are makes for every letter of the alphabet in this, and there are 26 letters in the alphabet. So, shall we divide it up into fives? All right. So A, B, C, D, E is what we're doing today. And I will pick one. Now, obviously the last one will have to have 6 instead of 5. Yeah. All right, so there is a whole section on crochet hooks and yarn and gauge. We're not going to look at that. But it does go through some pretty standard stitches, which I'm very thankful for. And then it talks about how to stuff, how to sew, placement, stuff like that. For a book, there's a lot of amigurumi patterns out there. It's become very popular. So for a book, I feel like that is very necessary and very useful, especially if this is the first amigurumi book, first crochet book that you ever purchase. The only thing I don't like is it does talk about the use of safety eyes and safety noses. I just would advise you to be real careful with that. They are called safety eyes and safety noses because they're supposed to be really difficult for children to remove. That being said, they are not impossible to remove. And depending on who I'm giving the animal to, I will crochet the eyes and the nose a lot of the time. Like, for example, unrelated to this, I am crocheting something for my brother for Christmas. And because it's going to be a stuffed animal and his child will at that point only be barely 1 year old, I am crocheting the eyes and nose on, just to be safe. We don't want any accidents. That was my PSA for you. All right. So the first pattern here is Alex the alligator. He is kind of cute. Eyes are a little wonky in my opinion, but you know, he's cute. there's no, there's no, like, indication of whether this is for beginners or not. I guess it might say somewhere in the beginning. But, let's see. It does call for Bernat Super Value yarn. I'm not actually familiar with that yarn. But looking at the picture, I would say maybe a thick 4, a thin 5. And it says that the finished size is 10 inches tall and 8 inches wide. So it's a good size. And then it calls for a size H hook. Which I find interesting, because I think an H, see, this is why I don't like using letters to determine my crochet hooks. I would much rather you give it to me in millimeters, because now I have to go, okay, what size millimeters is H, because almost all my crochet hooks look like this. Sorry, that's upside down, isn't it? Where it's just a number, no letter. I've come to prefer this particular style of handle for my hook, so this is what most of my crochet hooks look like. I know before I switched to numbers like either G or H is a very common size for worsted weight yarn, which I find interesting, because I thought that with amigurumi you usually use like 3.75 or 4.0 millimeter hook. So that's anyway, all right. And then for B, we've got Benny the Bear. Now, I guess he's supposed to look more like a real bear and not less like a teddy bear, but I feel like his arms are just a little bit too long, and they could be placed further down on his body. Maybe I'm just being picky. Yeah, this is 10 inches tall and 8 inches wide. And again, this calls for super value yarn. Again, I'm gonna guess that's a 4 weight yarn and a size H crochet hook. I think I'm looking now. I just am now seeing the mouth. Might use if it were me, might use a higher contrast yarn and maybe move down the nose a little bit. I don't know. It again, maybe I'm being picky, but it doesn't look right to me. Oh, this is cute. This is called Callie the cat. She's cute. Nice little simple cat. My daughter actually really likes cats. I could see making that. It looks super simple. And again, I think this is a beginner friendly book. Not affiliated or commissioned or anything like that. Just, saying what I think. It looks like all these are going to be the same size. 10 inches tall and 8 inches wide. Now, you know me. I would probably make one in the way they suggest it, and then I would start messing with it, because that's the type of person I am. But right now, Callie is in the lead. Got 2 more letters to go. Oh, Dash the dog. He is adorable. He's cute. That one's pretty good looking too. No notes. Except for where's his tail? Does he have a tail? Did the cat have a tail? I think the cat had a tail. Yeah, the cat had a tail. See, you can see the tail in the background. So hopefully the dog has a tail too. Most dogs have tails in real life, so just saying. And then E, we've got Edward the elephant. He's pretty cute too. So I am seeing lots of simple very simple, easily manipulated patterns. So if I were to choose one, nobody's birthday is coming up that I'm aware of. Man, the last 3 ones are pretty darn cute. I think Callie the cat is gonna get my vote today. Again, my daughter really loves cats, and has said that when she grows up she wants to own a cat. I told her that's what being a grown-up is part of, is deciding whether or not you can afford to take care of a cat. I don't know if I'm gonna make it gray though. Gray is not a color that my daughter is attracted to. There are a couple of options running through my head. I've got plenty of pink yarn. I've got plenty of purple yarn. Although part of me would love to make a rainbow striped hat, I'm not gonna lie. Or something else completely just random. Like I could see making, I wonder how this would work up in the red heart itty bitty stripes. That could be fun. That might be worth a trip to the store. She's old enough to where putting safety eyes wouldn't be so much of a problem. She does still unfortunately stick things in her mouth. We're trying to break her of that habit, but I mean, rainbow striped kitty with gold glittery eyes, can you imagine? I can, and it makes me happy. So that's probably what I'm gonna do. Because me, rainbows and glitters. Yeah, I am a fairy tale princess, I tell you what. I just don't have my crown yet. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, make sure you give it a like, especially if you're a subscriber. That way the evil YouTube overlords don't unsubscribe you from my channel against your will. Feel free to leave a comment down below. It helps my analytics. Plus, I genuinely enjoy hearing from y'all. If you're not a subscribe yet, I have a lot of yarny content, and if that's your type, make sure you hit subscribe. Plus, you would do well to hit that notification bell. If you really like my channel and would love to help it grow, share this video with everyone you know. In the meantime, make what makes you merry. Ciao.